get right. Too many left in these leagues, but I ain't gonna leave, I'ma get right. Down to the bottom and scratch it for all the...
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, everybody? It's Marcus Grant.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Our league. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
And best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
But I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down, cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right, cause I roll my sleeves.
What up? What up? What up, world? Welcome back. This is the Get Right Fantasy Network with me, Mike Herrick, aka Classic Mike. This is our Week 16 Active and Inactive show. I'm going to be going over our news and notes since our Friday show, and then at around 11:30 or so, or when news comes in, I'm going to give you guys actives and inactives for the 1 p.m. games to help you guys for that playoff push. Everybody's in. You know, if you guys are here, you're more than likely in the playoffs. So hopefully we can get you past that. If you have any start-sit questions leading up, make sure you guys put them in the chat. Be sure to use, the type of league you're in, half PPR, full PPR, tight end premium, all things like that. Also, might want to help with, knowing your particular situation. That really helps to get you an idea of what you should do. We also have super chats on for immediate responses. And, if you need that, I'll stop the show and answer your question. I have a banner below. This is literally, I updated it no more than like 5 seconds ago. This is the current lines, over-unders, and so on for all the games that are going on this, for this Sunday. I'm also going to just, I normally give you guys a breakdown for those that are new to the show of what's going on this week. But, due to the holiday, we're going to be changing a couple things. We're probably not going to have our Monday and Wednesday show. Christmas, so on and so forth. We will be back on Friday for sure. Me and Kendall will be doing what we did last Friday, answering your questions for start sit leading into the final week of the playoffs for most of us. And then we're going, that's how we're going to be to continue out the year for the most part. So, Phil will still have his shows when he's on. If he's around, he's currently away, so he isn't going to have his shows. Kendall might have a video or two out. But we will have the Sweet Life podcast that was on with Cody and Jack. They were on yesterday. Hopefully you guys got a chance to check them out. Some news and notes just to be aware of prior, and then I'll get to your questions. Zach Ertz, Jalen Coker, Tony Pollard, Tyrone Tracy, Tyreek Hill. These are the top 5 guys that we've been pretty much worrying about the last couple days. They're all expected to play as per Adam Schefter. Now, Tyreek plays at 4 o'clock, so it's a little bit of a, one of those kind of have to wait and see. But everyone else, I believe, plays at 1 o'clock. Everyone else plays at 1 o'clock. So we'll know about those shortly. Micah Parsons, he's been dealing with the stomach bug. He's listed as questionable today. He should be good to go. Jets, Quentin Williams, their defensive tackle. They're going to be testing his hamstring this morning to see if he can play against the Rams. If he can go, he might be limited in this role as per Ian Rappaport. Braylon Allen is good to go. So all these guys we pretty much know about, which is great. It's always good to know prior to, Sunday morning. We got Ray in the house. He goes, Mike, we got Smokey the Cat. What's going on, guys? Great to have you guys here. We have Joe Ortiz as well, telling me, what's up, Big Mike? That's what my nephews call me. So Ray, first and foremost, he goes, Hubbard, Judy, or Harrison, full PPR. If you're going with one of those, I'm going Hubbard. I trust that particular situation more than I trust most of the others. Jerry Jeudy, as much as I enjoy what he's been doing as of late, that was with Jameson Winston, who threw the ball consistently over 40 times a game, target him, a ton. DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I don't trust. I can't trust him as far as I can throw him. So for me, I just don't feel comfortable putting my fantasy playoffs in his hands. Marvin Harrison Jr. is in a little bit of a better scenario going against Carolina Panthers, so I understand the wanting to play him. But it's hard for me to want to play a guy that hasn't really been doing well this particular season, especially being so inconsistent. If memory serves me, he is currently from weeks 10 to 15 in PPR. He has been wide receiver 41, which it's hard for me to get behind, to be quite honest, comparatively to somebody in full PPR like Chuba Hubbard, who is currently running back 17 through the last 6 weeks. So I'm going to go with Chuba Hubbard for that. And to me, it's more guaranteed of a touch, more guaranteed of production. He doesn't have anybody behind him. It's really him in that particular offense. And everything goes through him. So I'm going to go with Chuba Hubbard. He has a better floor than Harrison. So Ray also asked, Eagles or Packers? That's a really great question. For me, it's Packers. I want to go against the rookie. If I was able to get them, I would have in my particular championship matchups. Unfortunately, I went the wrong way and went Houston. I should have probably stayed with Arizona, who I originally had. But for me, it's definitely the Packers D for sure. Smokey the Cat. He goes, pick one, Aaron Jones, Garrett Wilson, Rico Dowdle, or Jerome Ford. Full PPR. Man, that's a real tough one. It's hard for me to say Garrett Wilson. He's been playing okay the last few weeks. I was just looking at stats. He's wide receiver 40 through the last 4 weeks or 5 weeks. I mean, I can even cut it down to 3 weeks to week 12. And he is currently, where is he on this list? 34. So, I mean, I don't hate it, but I also am a little unsure about it. Aaron Jones, Ford, and Dowdle are all going to be touching the ball in one way or another. I think Aaron Jones probably has the better matchup overall, and has been playing pretty well down the stretch. So I'm not. I think for me, it's Aaron Jones here. He's been running back 10 the last 3 weeks since week 12 in full PPR. So I'm going to go Aaron Jones here. Safer floor. As much as people want upside for the playoffs, I like a safer floor. I like a guy that I know that is going to be openly available. I want to know that I'm going to be getting a good floor and then hopefully a ceiling from them. He's a solid low end RB1 that can have RB1, high RB1 upside. So I rather have that comparatively to Dowdle, who is, an RB2, mid RB2 that has low RB1 upside. And the same with Ford. So Smokey the Cat also asked, Bengals or Atlanta? It's Atlanta. Pick Atlanta. Atlanta overall has just been better. Joe Ortiz goes, Kendrick Miller, Judy, or Jonnu in the flex. Ew, that's gross. It might be Jonnu. And I don't normally put tight ends in the flex unless I'm in a situation that warrants it. My assumption for you is that this is full PPR. If it's full PPR, I feel a lot better about Jonnu, just because I know that they're going to be getting him involved in this game. He will be going against guys like Fred Warner and I always get his name wrong. Tufanga. Tufanga. There we go. So I trust that a little bit more. Yeah, it is full. Okay, so I just trust Jonnu just a little bit more for this particular offense. No Jalen Waddle for this particular team. San Francisco is their defense has been beaten the last few weeks, and they've been having a rough time. But overall, Kendrick Miller just scares the living bejesus out of me. He's not a bad choice. It's just unfortunately his injury history scares the living crap out of me. So he could be good for this game and then maybe not, get hurt near the end of it. You know, I'm just a little nervous about that. He will get the majority of the touches. I mean, Jamal Williams will be involved to some extent. They will probably throw in CEH here and there, but Jonnu, I think, has a better opportunity for it. They're currently the particular line for this changed a lot. It went from Miami being 1.5 to San Francisco being 2, being favored at, being the away favorite here. I mean, to me, that's significant. I'd rather go with Jonnu here if they feel as if they're going to have to, throw to get back. I think that might be the way to go. And to be fair, play your studs this week. A lot of you guys questions that I know that I'm going to be getting. Play your stud. Don't overthink it. There's no point in overthinking this week unless you're in a dire scenario. Play the guys that got you here. I know that there are going to be a few that might be in, some scenarios where you have like Jerry Jeudy or Drake London or things like that where you're unsure of. But overall, play your stud. They are studs for a reason. Ray goes pick 2. Bucky, Irving, Calvin Ridley, White, Reed, and Brian Robinson Jr. This is a great question. I would prefer to probably go with Bucky and Brian Robinson Jr. The Eagles defense is very good. I think they're going to do what they can to keep that offense off the field and run the ball. The over-under for this particular game is Philly up by 4. So Philly favored by 4 and 46-point over-under. It means that there's definitely going to be a little bit of room in this particular game for there to be points scored. And, I think they're going to try their best to keep the Eagles off the field, which is not an easy task in its own right. But I do like that particular scenario. Calvin Ridley, I don't hate. He's definitely number 2 for me between Brian Robinson and him. I love White. Reed is out of that equation for me. And I don't want you to load up your Bucks Bucks offense against for this particular week. You might want to diversify in this case. Ridley, I feel okay about with Mason Rudolph throwing the ball, but I prefer probably Brian Robinson because he's more guaranteed and is involved in the pass game here and there. So I do like that spot. Michael Lopez, what's going on, brother? He goes, good morning, brother. Need 1 for the flex. Adams, London, Walker, full PPR. Already starting Chase, Brown, Bucky Irving, Chase, and Puka. Nice. Good for you. You're in a good spot right here. It's hard to ignore what Devontae Adams did last week. Just outright, it's very hard to ignore it. He will not have that type of game. Just to be clear, I don't see him having that type of crazy game again. You have to be okay with understanding that he gets 12 targets a game. I remember looking at this when I was on the show on Friday, and I'm trying to find him, which I was going to say it shouldn't be that hard to find him. If you look at his stats from the last 3 games or the last, I'll go to week 9 when he came in. 11 targets, 13 targets, 7, 12, 11, 12. They are currently underdogs in this game by 3. There's a 46-point over-under. It's a good point total for them. 12 targets a game, catching 9. I mean, he's averaged pretty much, what is it? Trying to do math. Yeah, he's averaged 100 yards the last few weeks. What is this? Yards per route run? Yeah. He's had 4 touchdowns in 3 games. I mean, he could regress here, but I think that this is a good matchup for him. Rams are overall I wouldn't say favorable defense for this particular situation. They have been getting better the last few weeks. So let's go to week 12 for the Rams. Hold on one sec, just adjusting my numbers. They've been 8th best against the wide receiver, but overall their defense is probably about lower ranked overall. I do like this particular matchup, so I think I'm going to stick with Adams here. You have a really good situation where you can not play a guy like London with a new with a very new quarterback, a rookie coming in for Penix. We're all excited to see, but I think we're all optimistic and wanting it to be a good thing, but we don't know. Ken Walker scares me too. He has a high risk for re-injuring, and it could be one of those scenarios where we're unsure. He did have a calf injury in the middle of the year, so this could flare up again. It was 2 weeks that he's been coming back, so I'm a little nervous about it. But he could see probably about 60 to 50% of the touches. Adams is going to be out there the whole time. London, I'm just in between on. Go with the guy that is more of a, he's not going to get you 40. I'll emphasize that. But he will give you a really good day. So I think I'm going to go with Adams here. Perry Williams, what's going on, brother? He goes, yo, Mike, what's going on, man? He goes, pick 3. Okay. So you need a wide receiver 2 and 2 flexes. Drake London, Brian Thomas Jr., McBride, Bowers, Juno. You gave me this last time. I'm gonna stick with Brian Thomas Jr. He's been out of control the last few weeks, and honestly, I mean, it's hard to go against McBride in this matchup. It's a good matchup for him. I saw the stats today that if he has 89 catches currently on the season, if he continues to go on his pace without a touchdown, he will have a record in the NFL for most catches without a touchdown. So that I posted a thing this morning. I'm like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, do you want to be known for that, or do you want to be, do they want to get him the ball? So, he could have 2 touchdowns or he could have none, but still he puts up a solid floor every week. So I think it's definitely BTJ and McBride. I think the harder part is between London, Bowers, and Jonnu. I think Jonnu might be the better bet just because he's been involved. No Waddle. They're going to have to get him involved. Bowers, as much as I think he's been a wonderful tight end this year, he's definitely beaten my expectations, to be honest. I was low on him in the beginning of the season. I usually am for most tight ends that are rookies, well, except for Laporta. So he's been doing real well. Aiden O'Connell will be back. So I feel a little bit more comfortable with him, but I think that Jonnu is probably a better bet here overall. So Perry goes Packers or Colts. I'm going Packers. Going against Spencer Rattler. He's been known to turn it over. So is Mason Rudolph, but not as much. I prefer going with the matchup with the Packers a little bit more. And I'm facing them this week, so I'm assuming they're going to go off. Daniels goes Daniels, Love, or Rodgers. For me, it's between Daniels and Love, but it's got to be Daniels. I understand the hesitancy just because of how he faced them last time in week, I think 10 or 11. I understand that it's not the best. The Eagles are probably one of the best D's he's going to face this year overall. But I think he'll be okay. I think that he was hurt playing them that first time. He still did pretty well considering. I remember that game pretty well. I think he's going to be just fine. Stick with who got you here. Daniels definitely got you here out of these guys. Love is not the guy I feel comfortable with. Rodgers, yeah, he had a good week last week, but he hasn't had a game as of late. So, Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Joe Ortiz, how do you feel about JT today? I'm in between on it. Very in between on it. Sorry, I just got a text from somebody I haven't heard from in years and asked me a fantasy question. And he asked the same question you guys did. Oh, that's fantastic. I can't wait to get back to him. So JT, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so Quentin Williams will be out today for the Jets. That's huge, huge. He is one of the biggest run stoppers and one of the best defensive tackles out there. That's going to be a big one for Kyron. Hopefully, that means good things moving forward. JT, sorry. Lots of stuff happening. Let's go to statistics for it. Currently, Titans are 23rd against the running back since week 12. So they've been really letting things go as of late. Jeffrey Simmons, very good left D tackle as well. He's the only variable that I'm really unsure about. But I think if they understand what, they need to understand that running the ball will help them. They're in a dome tonight, which is great. A lot of the games today are outdoors and it's cold. I don't care where you are in the world, it's cold, except for Miami. But everywhere else, it's pretty cold. So for me, they have the ability to kind of spread it out a little bit if they need to. But I do hope that they lean on JT today. I'm in between on JT or Tyreek Hill. So, these are the two guys that I have in my playoffs that I got to figure out. Right. I mean, it's full PPR. They haven't really involved him in the passing game as of late, which is, very, very upsetting. He's just been underproducing the last few weeks, full PPR. Since week 12, he is, where is he? Oh my Lord. If I'm still scrolling, there's a problem. Oh, there it is. 34. That doesn't give me a ton of confidence, but Derrick Henry, was 29 through the last 3 weeks. So you can't really go a lot by those numbers, to be fair. But I don't hate him. I think he's in a good, I think he could be in a good spot today. I have him ranked currently, where am I? At 18. Which is, I still feel he's a RB2. So yeah, feel good about him. Perry goes Laporta, Strange, or Kraft. I'm going Laporta until further notice. Strange, I think, is in a good scenario, but I just don't know. I'd rather go with Laporta, who I do know. Strange could have a ton of volume, but I don't know his overall what's going to happen from that. Laporta to me is just safer. But if you need upside and, you let's just say you're down in this matchup, Laporta or Strange might be a good, Hail Mary for you. But I like Laporta as a little bit of a safer option. Will goes, who should I start in my flex spot? DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, Kendrick Miller, or Patrick Taylor? Full PPR. I like DJ Moore in this matchup against the Lions. Lions have been playing great defense overall throughout the season, but they are banged up. I think it's like 15 to 16 players on IR, and most of their studs are out. Are out, and they're playing a lot of backups, but they've been playing real good down the stretch overall. So even losing these guys, they still play well. But I still think they're going to have to get DJ more and more involved in this matchup. I'm a little nervous about Caleb here. I'm not a big fan of Caleb Williams. So that's my only caveat to that. My number 2 out of this grouping, it's hard for me to trust Amari Cooper. He can give you 0, he can give you 20. So I'm not 100% on it. Maybe they need to get him a little bit more involved. It's a good matchup for him, but it's so hard for me to pick a guy that's volatile when you're in a situation like this. Patrick Taylor is in a situation where he's running back by committee. So, I mean, he's the better of them. I mean, he's definitely seen he's been in the offense more. But he's got 4 other guys that are going to be involved. And yes, I said 4. I know everyone's thinking, oh, it's only 3. No, it's 4. Kyle Juszczyk is involved and will be out there. So to me, Patrick Taylor is probably if I'm ranking this, it's probably going to be DJ Moore, Patrick Taylor, Amari Cooper, and then Kendrick Miller. I like Kendrick Miller's talent, but I think that this matchup for him is just not the best. Packers D is much better than the New Orleans front, and it I just don't see great things happening from it. Could I be wrong? Of course, but he does have the same situation with a bunch of guys behind him. He is more talented than Patrick Taylor, way more power. He is definitely way more talented, but I think that it's going to be a real rough ride. But they could use him like Alvin Kamara, so maybe I would bring him up a little bit, but I think DJ Moore might be your best bet here. Marcos, buenos dias. What's going on, man? Great to have you here. He goes, Chigaconquo or Strange, full PPR. I'm going to go Strange here with these two. Definitely with Strange. Marcos goes Colts defense or Atlanta. Anyone that has these questions, it's Atlanta. Go against Drew Lock. That's my that's my advice. Ronald, Mikey, what's going on, Ronald? Great to have you here, man. Always a pleasure. If you guys have any questions, Joe and Ronald are there to help you out in the chats. Don't you worry. Who should you start in your tight end spot? Dalton Kincaid or Hunter Henry? Full PPR. I like it. I like this question. Hunter's been a little bit more involved as of late. He's definitely my standard pick for a lot of these. I do have him ranked higher than Dalton Kincaid, 10 for Hunter and Dalton at 14. Last few weeks for Hunter Henry, he's had 9, 8, 9, 4 for targets and hasn't had a touchdown. Dalton Kincaid, I believe, had his touchdown last week. I know Austin Hooper's kind of getting involved there too. Yeah, that's a tough one for me. I feel a little bit better about. I'm going to go Dalton Kincaid, full PPR. So I'm going to go with that for sure. Hold on one sec. Let me just send him something. Pick 2 for Marcus. He goes Ridley McMillan or Kenneth Walker, full PPR. Man, I like going with the running back in most of these scenarios, but I don't trust Kenneth Walker. The matchup this week is going to be against the Vikings. Would I rather go with a Ridley or McMillan? Probably. I like Baker's scenario more than I like Mason Rudolph's, even though Colts are a really good defense to play against. Mason Rudolph has been playing okay, but Baker's way better. If you trust the particular, well, then let's make it easy. It's pick 2. Never mind. Calvin Ridley and McMillan. They have the highest upside, for sure. Kenneth Walker is hard to trust. He could have a great game. Minnesota is a very good run defense. They have been for the last few weeks. They have been all year. Currently are they are currently 9th best against running backs. So it gives them, they're still second tier, but throughout the year, I think if I look at it since week 1, they are number 1 against the run. So Barry Williams go, oh, State baby, on to the Rose Bowl. Yeah. I'm not a big college guy. I got to get more into it. Don't really have any. I like a couple teams, but never really been involved. Christian Watson. So Joe goes Christian Watson, Alexander Madison, Keon Coleman, or Sterling Shepard in the full PPR. Oh, and Patrick Taylor. Gross. Patrick Taylor is safer out of this group. Christian Watson is definitely the higher upside. But the problem with Christian Watson is he can get you 0 or he can get you, Christian Watson can either get you, 30 or 0. Keon Coleman is going to get involved in this game. He's not a bad choice either. I would probably Sterling's going to get involved too. Ugh, this is gross. I'd probably lean Christian Watson here. He has higher upside, but his floor is not that great. So give me 1 sec. We're getting actives and inactives in. So I want to get you guys all those actives and inactives for these guys. It's looking like Tony Pollard is, I believe, active. Yes, Tony Pollard is active. Nick Folk is inactive. So if you guys are kicker guys, Nick Folk is out of the lineup. So I would not be using sorry. Dave Montgomery, of course, is inactive. I hate when they do those, but I, like to make it known. Quentin Williams, we already knew would be out today. Tanner Hudson's out for the Bengals. Looks like Orlando Brown is out as well. That's not great. Going against Cleveland's pass rush is not ideal. That's going to be something. Jameis Winston is going to be the third quarterback today. Cedric Tillman's going to be out today as well. Wow, they're a little beat up. David Njoku is active, but I still don't trust it going. With DTR, I just don't trust it. Bailey Zappi is going to be the number 2 for the Browns today. Zach Ertz is going to play today. He is active. No one significant for the Falcons here. Travis Homer is inactive for the Bears today. You're not playing him, but just good to know. No one else of significance is inactive at this point, which means they're all, all the guys that we mentioned before with Tony Pollard, Jalen Coker, Zach Ertz, Tony Pollard, Tyrone Tracy. We'll find out more about Tyreek Hill, but he should be good to go. That would be my guess. So all those guys seem to be active until further notice. I haven't gotten any news about anyone else. I'll keep going through everything, and if I get anything new, I'll let you know. Kicker question: Zane Gonzalez, Moody, or Carlson? I'm going to go with Moody. Better scenario, better offense overall. I just like Moody a lot more. Somewhat inconsistent, can have good days and bad days. Hopefully he has a good day. He's out in Miami, a little warmer. So he's a little bit of a better scenario. I have Moody at 12. I have the other guys a lot lower. Daniel Carlson for me is 27. I just don't trust it. And Zane Gonzalez, I don't even have ranked just because I think he just got on a team. Can't remember where he is currently. He's jumped around a ton these last few weeks. So Baker or Kyler, 4-point passing touchdown. Baker. Go with your stud. Baker's the stud. These two are talking. So Joe says, I have Reed and Watson. I'm going against Love. Should I start both? No. I don't like. I don't think you should start Reed. I think Reed is the only guy that I don't trust out of that group. Um, Watson has been a lot more involved as of late. When you look at things, let's just. I mean, I think Reed's best game was last week. Oh, Panthers are going to be with. Oh, wonderful! Great to know now. I'm an idiot. The last few weeks for for Christian Watson, he's at least had 7 to 6 targets. Last 2 weeks, he had 4 the week prior. But he's one to he's like MVS in a way where he can have 3 for 100 and a touchdown, but he could also have 2 for 4 or 2 for 6 and 3. So that's the tough part. Reed is more gadget play. They haven't really been. He hasn't really been as involved. He's more involved when guys like Romeo Dobbs are out. Romeo Dobbs seems to be more of a. He seems to be more of the possession receiver in this particular offense, so I like him a lot more. I'm trying to find Jaden Reed right now, but I have him ranked at like 34. But Jaden Reed, I mean, he had 6 targets last week. The week before, he had 1. He had 6. He averages 6 based on what these stats say. He had 1 fumble, 3 rush attempts. It's hard to tell, honestly. I'd rather have one of the two than both. So Marcos goes pick one. Strange, Ferguson, Chikakonkwo, or Njoku. It's Strange. 11, 12 targets last week. Hard to go again. Hard to not look at with everybody out in that particular offense. I gotta go. I gotta go Strange here. O'Connell or Geno, 6-point passing touchdown. It's Geno. Go with the better guy. Better guy here is that better matchup. As good as the Vikings defense has been, and they are a good pass rush, they are very beatable on the outside. So I think that they could take advantage of that. I could start Miller instead of JT, but JT is mixed up. No, go with JT. You're in a situation where you can use him. Use JT. I have a choice between 2 studs, JT or Tyreek Hill. So that situation is a lot harder than that one. All in one show. What's going on, brother? He goes, pick one. Full PPR. Drake London or Higgins. Man, these two are right next to each other, I think, in my rankings. Yeah, I have Drake at 14, and I have T a little bit lower, but where do I have T? No, I have T higher at 10. So, they're in the same relative tier for one. I'm going to go with T here, and I like London, but I trust Joe Burrow more. The matchup's good for him. Burrow throws a ton, and it's hard to not be involved in that. London, we're unsure of, and the fact that you're this far ahead, far in, that you can use a guy like Higgins. My only thing is I mean, injuries are always a thing, and always a variable that we don't know and can't predict. But Higgins Higgins can be somewhat injury prone. He's coming off of an injury. London is healthy. It's really going with who you feel more comfortable with. Do you want Penix, who hasn't thrown the ball in an NFL game this year, or do you want Joe Burrow throwing the ball to, a guy that could possibly get hurt? It's a toss-up for me, really. My ranking has Higgins higher, so if you want to go by my ranking, that would be the best bet. Since week 12, let's go look at defenses. Cleveland is 15th best against the wide receiver. Giants are 13th best, but to give a little caveat to that, they are 31st against the run. Why? Because teams tend to run on them and they don't tend to need to throw. So that's the other part about it. Higgins will be actively involved the whole game. So I'm going to go Higgins here. Pick 2, full PPR. Bucky Irving, Pollard, McMillan, Metcalf, Kendrick Miller. Bucky and Pollard. Pollard, now that I know he's playing, Pollard. We talked about it on Friday. If it's Pollard, Pollard or Spears, it's Pollard. Like, that matchup is too juicy to not be, wanting to be a part of. Since week 12, Colts are currently 27th against the running back. There's your answer. Smokey goes, would you still play Atlanta defense when you have Neighbors in your lineup? No. That's okay. Here's my whole thing about that. If you haven't heard this take for me, this is what I say. If you have a guy on your team that is playing against the defense that you have in your lineup, a touchdown scored by that particular player is... Sorry. People love to text me while I'm in my show. If Neighbors scores, now that's the big caveat here. If Neighbors scores, his 6 brings you down to 3. So in those scenarios, I don't want to have my touchdown be less valuable. So I like to have a better defense. So if you have the other two like you mentioned, I think it was Colts defense or one of the other defenses that you had, or even Bengals, play them. They're fine. The ones that you guys have been listing have been fantastic. I'm always going to pick against my Giants just because of the fact the Giants don't put a ton of points to begin with. So if you feel as if Neighbors won't score a touchdown, but will have a really good game, go for it. But I will tell you, he's going to be going against, in most situations, AJ Tyrell, who is a very good corner and matches up pretty well with a lot of guys that he's faced the last few weeks. Right now, I would probably maybe keep it the way it is, but if you have a good defense that you've stacked, I'm all for going that direction. Ooh, this is a tough one. So Denzel Barton, I love this question though. Jennings, Adam Thielen, Kendrick Miller, Patrick Taylor, Drake London, Wilson. Oof. So need 2 wide receivers, 1 running back, 1 flex. The one running back, I might have to go Kendrick Miller. I don't feel great about it. I probably no. I'm gonna go Patrick Taylor. But the thing is Patrick Taylor has 3 other guys that's going to be involved one way or another. He knows the offense pretty well, but it's a better matchup overall against running backs. Miami's 15th best in stopping them or holding running backs. Packers are a lot lower on that list. Where are they? 22nd. I mean, maybe Miller. I don't fucking know anymore. These 2 have been, I put them in the thumbnail for a reason because they are the 2 most asked people the last few weeks. I'm going to go Miller for the running back. I'm going to do it. Miller for the running back. Jennings for one of the wide receiver. Wait, need 2. Wait, need 2 wide receiver, 1. Okay, so Jennings and Miller. Adam Thielen scares me, but I love what he can do. Wilson's there too. Wilson, I rank higher. So Jennings, London, Wilson for your wide receiver flex. That's what I would do. I think Kendrick Miller you can do as the running back. Dylan Fink, what's going on, man? He goes playoffs, baby. Full PPR. Different leagues. Okay. I remember this one too. 3 separate questions. Okay. Start 1 running back, 1 flex. Out of Amir Abdullah, Madison, Spears, Adunze, and Strange. Full PPR, I'm assuming, for all this. Yes. Okay. So the running back, I would go Madison. The flex, I would go. The flex, I would go Strange. I hate recommending tight ends in the flex, but I think that might be your best bet. Tight end one, Strange for me. For the next one between Strange and Hunter Henry. Running back one, or one running back, one tight end between Walker, Ford, Ertz, Chig. It's going to be Ertz for sure for the tight end. It's a little bit harder for the other one, but I think I might go. I think I might go Ford. No, I can't go Ford. That's too big of a jump. Oh wow, it's not. I have them within 5. Cincinnati's defense. Let's look at them the last few weeks. Cincinnati is last. Yeah, I'm going Ford. Let's go with the matchups here, people. At this point, I mean, Ford is in a better scenario. No one really behind him. Pierre Strong is the only one behind him. I know DTR is not a great quarterback, but they could lean on their vet, which could be him. So I'm going to go Ford here for that one. Killer Kev, Bills point. Yeah, they have a good matchup here. Ogre, what's going on? Ogre 42. He goes one wide receiver, one flex, standard. So standard, we want the touchdown. Tank has a better scenario, but he's taking a back seat. So I'm going to go Miller. And if you want a wide receiver, let's go with Shakir. I like it. Oh. So Bills or Falcons. I like the Falcons, but Bills aren't a bad defense either. So I don't think you could go wrong. It's would you rather go against Drew Lock and the Giants, who haven't put up a ton of numbers, or the Patriots, who've done the same? Both teams have been really bad as of late, just putting up numbers in general. So, I mean, what is this? They've gone. All their numbers have been under. Like, I don't think they've. Yeah, they haven't had any totals. Their current over under for this game is 43, which is pretty high considering. But I think that's all on Atlanta side comparatively to the Bills, which is 46.5. It's really inflated. I would probably, in this case, I would more likely lean going with the Falcons and against the Giants. Yeah. Marcos goes Metcalf or Jameson Williams full PPR. I'm going to go with Metcalf. If I want to use the Jared Goff narrative that he's outside, it's cold. I'm in New York. It's, feel like temperature is 50. Well, I think it's like 4 and it's like 15 degrees where I am. A little warmer at MetLife. But, out in Chicago, I can only imagine it's colder. A little bit of rain for Metcalf, but better scenario. I think I'm going to go Metcalf. Week 1 champs. What's going on, brother? He goes, I like that. He's following us on Twitter, which is fantastic. He goes, I have Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, and DJ Moore. Who should I play? Number 2 wide receiver and flex. Mike Evans is a must. They're going to try to get him to that 1,000. So they're going to definitely push the ball. I think Devontae Adams is your other guy that you're going to go with here. I just feel better about those scenarios. Garrett Wilson I like, but just not the same. DJ Moore I like as well, but not in the same boat. I like Devontae and Mike Evans a lot more. Ooh, this is a good one. DJ Moore or Jacoby Myers. Moore I think it's DJ Moore for me, even though I do like Jacoby Myers a lot. But they are in different tiers for me. DJ Moore, I have ranked currently at 22, and I have Jacoby at 31. So they just miss a tier for me. I'd rather go against Detroit. They're going to have to. So, Wolfel, what's going on, man? He goes Moore, Terry. Wow. DJ Moore, I should have put on there. Terry has the ability to either go absolutely insane or get you 0, like he did the last time he faced the Eagles. It's a really tough matchup to choose between. I do like Terry for this a lot more. I have Terry ranked higher. I believe, I have Terry at 15. I'm gonna go Terry. It's a tough matchup though. Very tough matchup. Ravens. What's going on, man? Ravens show yo. He goes, Coach Mike, what's the deal for full PPR? Ertz or Strange? I like Strange just a smidge more. Ertz is coming back from a concussion. I think where do I have? I have Strange at 13, and I have Ertz at 34. I gotta raise him up, but if I had to pick, I'd probably put him at like 16, so they're right near each other. I'm gonna go Strange. Yes, Keaton Nodden is out, as well as Keaton Nodden and Derek Carr and Alvin Kamara are all out. Anthony, what's going on, Rasta? He goes, have a good show, brother. Good luck to everybody out there, unless you're playing against me. That's my line. No, you started that one first. So Drew Lario in the house. What's going on, Drew? Jerome Ford or Patrick Taylor? Half PPR. Jerome Ford. Don't even have to try too hard there. Danny Angel, what's going on, man? Great to have you here. He goes, Goff in cold weather versus the Bears or Darnold in the rain versus Seattle? Great question. Love it. Love that question. Goff is not a lock for me. I have Goff at 9. I have Goff at 9 and Darnold at 7 in my rankings. The matchup overall I like a little bit better is versus, let me see, Seattle, 15th best. But Bears are number 1 against QBs, regardless of how bad their defense has been. They're number 1 since week 1, and since week 12, they are currently 18th. Seattle is 6th, so they've been playing a lot better as of late. So they definitely took a big swap since week 1. Outdoors scares me, but Goff's on a heater. Oh, it's a tough one, man. Real tough. I think I'm going to stick with my rankings. Go with Sam Darnold here. Oh, look at this. Patrick Lario in the house. We got Drew and Patrick, long lost cousins. Always a great thing to see. I love having it. He goes, yo, go Big Blue. Nah, sorry, brother. So pretty self-explanatory, but just checking since it's big game. I bench Mahomes scared. He'd be pulled, and now Stafford going. I benched Ertz for Freiermuth, screwed himself. Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Yeah, I'm well, hold on. Ronald, both are away. They're both going to be either in Seattle or in so yeah, Goff away is gross, and it's even worse outdoors. I'm going to go Darnold either way. More that I think about it. Neanderthal in the semifinals. Good for you, brother. In 2 of my 3 paid leads. Still trying to survive in the Guillotine League. Just want to say thanks to you and the rest of the guys that get right. Have been a great season. Wish everyone good luck. Thanks, brother. Always appreciate that. For all those that do wish us or that, really like what we've been talking about, please make sure you guys comment on the videos. It really helps. Makes it so that other people see it as well. So make sure you guys are doing that as well. Look at that. I always love when these two get in here. So Patrick goes, so pick two. Smith, Najigba, Addison. Yeah, you're going with JSN and Addison. Don't change it. They've been out of control the last few weeks. I think their wide receiver, if memory serves me right, I think they're wide receiver wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 13 since week 12. So stick with those. Ronald goes, hey, Mikey, how Tracy looking this week? He's hurt. So, I mean, the situation is, they traveled. They're going to be in Atlanta. They're already, they're 9.5-point underdogs. Will they involve him? Most likely. But, it's one of those things where Devin Singletary's there. They're going to involve him too. So I don't expect huge things from him. To me, he's a low-end wide receiver 2 flex play for me. Most situations, I like him because he's a pass catcher. So full PPR, he definitely takes a bump. But yeah. So Will Mayfield, what's going on, brother? He goes, Jaden Daniels or Stafford? I can't tell you not to play Daniels, man. You got to roll with it. I mean, I have Stafford at 13. I have Daniels at 4 in my rankings. I know it's a tough matchup. Honestly, I put him a little bit lower, like maybe at 5 over Burrow, and even maybe 6 the more I keep looking at it. But his ability to rush and his rushing floor is really good. They're going to have to. He's definitely going to have to run today. It's going to be a rough one, but he's the better option. Yeah, I can't say anything more than that. Oh, what's going on, man? It's vlog. I can never say your first part. Sorry, brother. So he goes Brian Thomas Jr. or AJ Brown. Both have been fantastic. Both have really good matchups, Raiders and the Commanders. I'm going to have to go Brown, man. It's hard not to play a guy like Brown every week. If you could find a way to play both, I would. But yeah. Joe Ortiz goes, Myers has 0 drops this year, 0. Good for Myers, man. I like that. What's up, Sully? Great to have you here, brother. Sully's in our one of our semifinal matchups going against our number 1. He's our number 4. Going against a real juggernaut of a team. So good luck to you there, Sully. Hope to see you, hope that we can both see each other next week in the playoffs, in the championship. We'll see. It's going to be a rough one. I had a rough couple. I have 4 guys that already went through, and I'm only leading by 10. So it's going to be a rough situation. Thanks, Coach. I like that. Coach. I really do. Marcos, JSN or Terry McLaurin, full PPR. It's JSN. I can't stress that enough. JSN has been on fire as of late. I have them right next to each other in my rankings at 16 and 17. It's JSN for me. He's been heavily involved in this matchup. If you're going to do anything against the Vikings, it's pass the ball. It's going to be quick passes out. JSN is where you are. Joe and Ravens in their own matchup. I love it. I love this chat, man. Always a good group of guys in here. So thank you guys all for your questions. If you guys have any more, don't hesitate to drop those. Please make sure you guys have, if you have any more questions, those that are watching, throw them in there. I'll do my best to answer them as we go. For those that are new to our particular channel, make sure you guys check out our affiliate channels as well. We have Kender Vanderbilt at the Fantasy Football Tavern. If you want cold beers, hot takes, he's the one to help you out. He will be heavily involved in this offseason doing a lot of dynasty content. So if you guys are big dynasty players and want to be a little bit more involved and get more information, Kendall's your guy. So make sure you guys check out Kendall at the Fantasy Football Tavern. Also, check out Phil at the Extra Point. He will be doing a lot of Dynasty content as well with Kendall and by himself. So make sure you guys check him out, as well as the Tycoon himself, the president of the board. Good old Tycoon will be in the fantasy boardroom throughout the offseason as well. Maybe not as much as these two, but make sure you guys check them out, as well as checking out Cody and Jack over at the Sweet Life Football. They have a really good podcast they've been doing the last few days, or the last few Saturdays. They were here last Saturday doing a great job. So make sure you guys check them out as well. Dr. Clutch in the house going, good morning. How we doing, man? Hey, it's playoffs. We're here. We're enjoying. We had, 3 games of football already, which is fantastic. Always good to have that. Next week is insane. Be ready for next week, ladies and gentlemen. You have 2 games on Wednesday. 2 games on Wednesday, 1 on Thursday. Hold on. I always forget the numbers. I think there's 1 on Friday, or 3 on Saturday, if memory serves me. So we have 2 games on Wednesday, 1 on Thursday, 3 on Saturday, and then the normal slate all the way up until Monday Night Football, which is going to be Lions and 49ers, which is going to be a great game. So we got a lot going on next week. You're going to have to really keep up on your alerts. Make sure you guys are following the big guys at the top, with Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport. They'll be helping you out throughout game time. I unfortunately can't. I'm going to be, family always comes first this time of year. So make sure you guys are keeping an eye out for those people as well. They're very good and very helpful with getting you through the season, at least knowing if people are injured or not. A lot of the guys that you have in, you're going to be using. But a lot of these scenarios, you got to remember, in some leagues, some don't. I know Yahoo, you can, if a guy already played, you can drop. But other leagues, I already had this scenario, which is annoying. But in leagues like MFL and Sleeper, once they play, they're locked. You can't get them out. So, or no, ESPN. Sorry, ESPN does that. Sleeper and Yahoo, you can go in and out. So you're going to have to be very cautious of that. Make sure you guys are playing your. If you guys are playing anybody that is playing Wednesday, Thursday, or Saturday, make sure they're in the starting lineup so that you can, switch out flex spots leading up to Sunday. That's going to be a huge deal for a lot of people. So make sure you guys give yourself flexibility in that particular scenario, just because that's what's going to end up happening this, that playoff week is, when we have so many games, when there's 8 games that are going to be played prior to Sunday, that's a huge deal. A lot of players involved there. Want to make sure those starters are all in there. So make sure you guys do that. Dr. Clutch goes, win and go into the chip. I hope you win. Garrett Wilson or Brian Thomas Jr. full PPR? It's Brian Thomas Jr., man. Guy's been on fire lately. I like what he's been doing, even with Mac Jones behind center. I have Brian Thomas Jr. at 12, and I have Garrett Wilson at 19. Good matchups for both of them going against the Raiders and the Rams. I don't like either quarterback. Mac Jones is, Aaron Rodgers is definitely a better quarterback, but Mac Jones is a competent quarterback, if you will. If you look at their numbers the last few weeks, Brian Thomas Jr. getting 10, 12, 14 targets a game, which means they're still throwing the ball and doing well. They've been underdogs in a lot of their matchups. This is the first week. Oh, no, they're underdogs in this matchup, 2.5 points. So they're going to have to throw the ball, 12 for 8 or 8 for 12, 10 for 14, but 105 yards, 86. He's had 3 touchdowns in 3 games. Wide receiver 4 last week. It's hard not to go with him, brother. So Dr. Clutch goes, I feel like I'm putting a lot on Mac Jones, given I have Strange too. But yeah, I've also been leaning. Yeah, some of those scenarios are really tough when you have 2 guys that are in those matchups like that. I prefer running like a running back and a tight end on the same team comparatively to tight end and wide receiver on the same team. It's really just because if the passing game gets screwed or your quarterback goes down or something like that happens, it doesn't fully kill your team. It only kills the one. So I've learned to be a little bit more on the running back end than on the other side with the wide receiver. But I understand here because you're basically, if Mac Jones throws it 28 times, let's just say 28 times. Last game he threw it more than 26, I think it was, but 26 of his throws went to BTJ or Brenton Strange. Parker Washington's involved, but not to the extent that you care. And I don't know the other guy. So, Shakir. I have Shakir, but wasn't really considering him over BT. No, see, I really do like Shakir, but I would not play him over those two in this particular week. I mean, they're all three of them in fantastic matchups. I want to know what league this is. I mean, the fact that you're able to have all these guys, which is great, which means you drafted fantastically, which you hopefully listened to us in the offseason, is one of those scenarios, man, where you probably got Garrett Wilson early. You probably were able to get BTJ just right in the middle, and Khalil kind of got a little bit farther down the line, and you got all three of these guys to hit at the same time. Or you picked up Khalil late in the year, and, you're running with that. So, honestly, congrats to you for having an abundance of riches, but sometimes that can be a lot more difficult than you think. For those that are in the chat and listening, I have my own questions. I want to see how you guys feel about this because I don't, as much as I like to give my information to you guys, I can only do so much for myself. Sometimes I change my own mind. Who would you play today? Full PPR. You have Jonathan Taylor or Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill banged up. He's got his hand or his wrist that he's dealing with. Only guy there. Jalen Waddle being out, going against the 49ers. A good defense in its own right. Playing in Miami, but have been very weak against the wide receiver. Or do you go with Jonathan Taylor, who has been underwhelming as of late, going against Tennessee, who is a pretty formidable defense? Yeah, just hard to do. Hard to pick for this. So I'm in between on it right now. It's hard for me not to play a guy like Tyreek Hill. It's just Jonathan Taylor scares the bejesus out of me because he's he could disappear. So I got Ronald going, Jonathan Taylor over Hill, clutch going Taylor for sure. Last week I made a mistake and I made a last second change from Adam Thielen to James Cook, and I lost. Or no, James Cook to Thielen, and I lost. I don't want to make that same mistake again. So I'm a little nervous to pivot at the last second. I have Hill in at the current moment. I am currently up by 1. I'm just nervous. Hill is a little bit more involved. So if Taylor scored last week, is this a debate? It's a fair point. It's a fair point, my friend. It's a fair point, Doc. So this is why I need you guys. I can't, sometimes I got to talk myself into doing certain things. I do that with you guys all the time. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Put up 107 versus Denver. Denver, a good rush defense. All right. I think, and unfortunately, the volatility of Hill scares the shit out of me. He goes off, I'm going to be mad at myself. But I'm going to do it. I trust you guys. You guys are just as good as this as I am. I'm just on a platform. I'm gonna go with what you guys say. I'm here for you guys. I'm a man of the people, if you will. So Dr. Clutch goes, my draft was kind of insane. My first two picks were Jetta and Wilson. Nice. Good for you. I lucked out getting Jetta in a lot in one of my leagues. I wasn't expecting him to go there. So yeah, glad to do that. Aaron Jones or Addison. Both are good. Jones is more guaranteed. He's safer. Addison is definitely a higher floor or higher ceiling. Seattle's a great matchup for both of these scenarios. Are you currently up or down? If you're down, I'm playing Addison. If I'm up, I'm playing Jones. That's how I would do it. I mean, if you have the ability, if this is the same group as the Jetta and Wilson and all that, I mean, it's hard not to play a guy like Addison, who's been, like I said, wide receiver 3 since week 2, I think it was. What was it? No, he's wide receiver 3 since week 12. If you go to week 11, he was wide receiver 5. So it's hard not to want to play a guy. Oh, it's a different league, but he's up. He had nobody playing yet, and had Lamar and Dicker. Okay. I mean, Addison is definitely a ceiling play. Jones is more of a safer play. Aaron Jones, wide receiver, has been running back 12 since week 11, running back 10 since week 12. I feel good about it either way. 57, 58, 4.5 yards per carry, involved in the passing game, 16 points per fantasy game. I don't hate that at all, but Addison's been 23 he's got 4 touchdowns in 4 games. It's going to be rainy. No, go with Addison or go with Jones. Weather to me was the deciding factor, but I mean it could be nothing, to be fair. I mean, they said it's probable showers. So yeah, I would go with that. Man, you guys give me a lot of great questions. Thank you all for being a part of this today. If you guys have any other questions, please let us know. I'll be here for another couple minutes, but I don't see a ton of traffic coming through, but I do see a ton of people watching. So thank you all for watching the last few weeks. We really do appreciate it. I hope everyone has a wonderful week 16 and hopefully a plentiful playoff. Hopefully we get to see you guys next week. Make sure you guys check out Underdog. If you haven't already, please make sure you guys use promo code GETRIGHT when you register. They will help you at checkout. They will give you 50% of your deposit. So you guys put in 10, they'll give you 5, 20, they'll give you 10, all the way up until I think it's $2,000, and they'll give you up to $1,000. So make sure you guys check out Underdog and use the promo code GETRIGHT. They are doing their pick'em contest and so on. So make sure you guys do that. They'll give you a free pick. This was, I think, last week, or this week. I don't remember. Either way, they'll give you one, free picks like this for your pick'em. So make sure you guys check them out. One of the best sites for best ball, one of the best for pick'em as well. Really enjoy those guys. So Dr. Clutch goes, wait, I was looking at the wrong league. I had Fairbairn and he had Najee, so I'm up. Okay, yeah. So I'm still doing Aaron Jones either way. I think it's a safer floor for you. Still can have a good day. Will be involved in the pass game. If it's rainy or gross out, they will take advantage of going underneath. Addison is a real big ceiling play. So if you feel like you need a little bit more room, he is definitely the play. But I think Aaron Jones is a safe play here. He's been involved. So. Oh, this is gross. Gino or Love? Geno's in a tough matchup. I have Geno Smith. Where is he in my rankings right now? I have Geno at like 29. Should probably bring him up a little bit. I think he was down there because of the injury. Love is going to be playing the Pack at Lambeau. It's going to be cold. It's going to be. They're favored by 14. 42 point over under for both of them. Minnesota's favored, which means Geno's going to have to throw it a little more. Good pass rush for Minnesota. That's a tough one. I know that's why you're asking. Love QB 14 since week 12. Geno's been underwhelming. Love isn't hurt. Let's go Love. Let's go Love. Las Vegas Joe, what's going on, man? Great to have you here. Thank you for joining us on Twitter. He goes Cooper Kupp or Adam Thielen, Njoku or Strange. For me, it's definitely Strange. Definitely Strange. Then it is Kupp or Thielen. This is a tougher one for me. I understand everyone is a little nervous about Cooper Kupp putting up a 0 again. This is still a good matchup for them either way. Jets are currently, since week 12, they are pretty bottom of the barrel. They are 30th against the wide receiver. Thielen going against Arizona, it's a little bit different. Arizona has actually been 6th best against the wide receiver. I like Thielen a lot, but I prefer Kupp. Play the guy. Kupp is a better wide receiver. I understand he's kind of sharing with Puka, but Stafford has the ability to throw the ball a lot more. I'm gonna go Kupp and Strange here. So a different league, nice. Full PPR, 1 flex, 1 running back. Brees, Aaron Jones, Bucky. Oh my God. Oh, so many good options. I think I might go Aaron Jones and Bucky here. Yeah, Aaron Jones and Bucky feel like the safer picks for me, for sure. Like all these other guys, except for Miller, but all these other guys are great. Brees Hall's in a good position, playing well as of late. He got the touchdown last week, which helped him out significantly. He had a decent game. Oh, no, he didn't. The touchdown saved him. Yeah, no. We're going to go Aaron Jones and Bucky. Yeah. Do not pick up Mac Jones. So Dr. Clutch goes, my brother asked me, McMillan or DK? So I'm relaying his question here. No problem. It's hard for me to not tell you DK. I think you have to go with DK here. I like McMillan. I'm a big fan. Love what he's been doing. I have him currently at like wide receiver 46 in my rankings. I'm definitely going to rank him much lower, but he's had a real good couple of games. 6 targets, 7 targets for 4 and 5 on catches, 3 touchdowns. So I understand the appeal. I really do understand where he is in that scenario. I only have DK at 30. So it's not like I have DK crazy high. 3 targets last week definitely scares you a lot. And he's only put up 28 to 49 points. It's so hard for me to suggest to somebody to play a guy over a guy like, DK. Kate Nodden being out, I feel a little bit better about McMillan. McMillan is going to be my choice here. Been very heavily involved the last few weeks. Baker is a better quarterback to get him the ball. I think I'm going to go McMillan here. Yep. All right. So I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your particular Sunday. I'm going to wrap things up. I got things to do around my house and get ready for the games. Hope everyone has a wonderful week 16. So unless I have any more questions, I'm going to wrap things up. Like I said, please make sure, if you haven't already, please check out our affiliate podcast, the Fantasy Football Tavern, the Extra Point, and the Fantasy Boardroom. Please make sure those that are in here, I got 39 people watching me. I hope all 39 of you go to these channels and like and subscribe to all 3 of them. They are doing fantastic jobs and they really need recognition. So please make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to their shows. Also, please check out the Sweet Life Football. Do the same for them as well. They need, we're trying to build them up. They're doing great jobs and we want, everyone to, recognize that as well. Jack and Cody are doing fantastic stuff. So make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to these particular channels as well as ours if you haven't already. So please do that. Dr. Crutch goes, let's get that win. Brian Thomas Jr., let's catch some passes today. That's right. Put that out into the world. I love it. So good luck to everybody in their week 16 semifinal or final matchups based on where you are and based on what you're doing. So good luck to everybody. I hope everyone has a wonderful week 16, unless you're facing me. I'll see you guys next Friday. Keep an eye out for shows and keep your alerts on. We'll be around, but we'll see you guys on Friday. Peace.
Wanted to write fantasy is the play. Marking nothing, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll